Welcome to Navajo County Connection. I'm Dawnafe Whitesinger, District 5 Supervisor, and we are now coming into the fall season, which means football season and certainly a lot of great things happening in the community, including the Navajo County Fair. And today we have Mr. Mike Sample, who acts as is the Navajo County Fair President, and happy to have you join us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Sure. Before we get started, have you been on Navajo County Connection before?
Last year, we did a segment last year.
Oh, okay.
So this will be my second time.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and I guess your roots in our county and just what brings you here today.
Sure. Well, I'm originally from Holbrook, born and raised. My mother's family, the Padilla family, were the first settlers in the area at Horsehead Crossing. Outside of volunteering for the fair, I'm employed with Navajo County at the Clerk of the Court's office. I'm married. I have two beautiful daughters, Ashley and Alexandra, and they're actually the ones who got me involved with the fair. When they were about 8 and 11 years old, they joined 4-H in the horse club and showed their horses at all the 4-H events and became Navajo County rodeo queens. So we were there for all the different events. In fact, with them and through the events at Navajo County Fair, it helped them develop who they have become as adults. My older daughter, Ashley, has just graduated with her master's degree in agricultural, and then my younger daughter, Alexandra, is attending the university, trying to obtain an animal science degree. Wow. And I think being involved in all the events at the fair throughout those years helped them develop to the adults who they've become now.
Oh, yeah.
So we spent a lot of time there.
That's great to hear, and it sounds like you have deep, deep roots in Holbrook, and so kind of it supports your, I guess, endeavor in being the chair, the president of the Navajo County Fair, and being able to see that it's successful. I'm sure you've created a lot of great networks and being able to bring great people to our communities because you care about the community and you want to make sure that it's a great event.
Yes, ma'am. I've grown up at the fair, went with my grandfather to the horse races from the time I could probably walk to the time the horse races end. As I developed my family, we took my daughters as babies and attended the fair. And now, so I think it's a great thing to be involved in the community as well as putting on a great event for the county.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time, and we certainly appreciate the time that you put into the county fair. So talking about the county fair, give us a little bit, I guess, of when does it start, the times, and so forth.
Well, the fair begins officially Wednesday, the September 13th. We have opening ceremonies beginning at 6 p.m. and it runs through Sunday, the 17th. The Navajo County Fairgrounds is located in the county seat of Holbrook on East Hopi Drive there. It is our 86th annual Navajo County Fair, so we've been established for quite some time there. We have, actually our first event starts tonight with our Pee Wee 4-H horse clubs with the horse show, Western showmanship, and today and tomorrow. And then we open officially at noon on Wednesday with opening ceremony 6 p.m. on Wednesday evening.
Okay. And I know in thinking about, I guess, when people are going to be watching the programming, so when we talk about next week, that's September 13th that the fair starts.
Yes, ma'am. Yep,
and it'll run through the following Sunday. And I'm not quite certain of the date, but it'll be that following Sunday.
Yes, the 17th.
The 17th.
Yes.
So when we so you start activities on Wednesday, opening ceremonies. Thursday, what time could somebody come to the fairgrounds and
Well, Wednesday the fair opens, the gates open at noon, so anybody's welcome to come at noon. And then thereafter each day at 10 a.m. We start bringing in livestock for the kids for the judging. Junior livestock and 4-H groups that start bringing in their livestock on Tuesday, and judging begins early Wednesday morning for those events. So we have a full day starting Wednesday, as well as the 4-H horse clubs begin 8 a.m. Wednesday morning with the ranch horse activities.
Okay.
And then Thursday we move on at 10 a.m. every day thereafter.
So what are some of the traditional events that happen at the county?
Traditional events, of course, would be the carnival and the food vendors. Thursday night we have the demo derby, and that's a big hit. We bring a lot of cars in from throughout the county. This year we've opened it up to sister counties, so we have entries coming in from Apache and Coconino County as well to try to make it a bigger and better event. So that goes on Thursday night. Friday morning we have our team roping that occurs at 8 a.m. Friday morning. And then Friday afternoon we have our rodeo. Rodeo begins with pre-show at 6:30 and performance at 7. And then we move on to Saturday with our Little Buckaroo Rodeo. And that involves the little kids with the mutton busting, the steer riding, and the dummy roping, and for the little kids who aren't old enough to participate in the older rodeo.
Right.
So that begins at Saturday at 11 a.m. and then our rodeo performance again Saturday, and we moved it up on Saturdays. Pre-show starts at 6 with the performance at 6:30, and then on Sunday we had an event scheduled. It was called Rank Little Buckers. That was a sanctioned event with kids from the ages of 7 to 14 that traveled throughout the United States at different events, gathering points towards their finals. But I guess a scheduling conflict and cancellation occurred, so they're not going to be able to make it for Sunday. So at the last minute, we're kind of scrambling to put together an open barrel racing for Sunday's event.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a lot of fun. I've been practicing actually for the little buckaroo, so you'll see me out there.
Great. And along with those traditional events, we also have a full line of commercial exhibits and vendors, as well as the food vendors that are there. A variety of food, from tacos to Navajo tacos to fried pickles and fried alligator. So we have a good variety.
Fair food is always a draw.
The best, right?
Yeah, you get all your fried everything.
Right.
Fried Twinkies, fried
Oreos,
Snickers, fried
right.
Oreos. So outside of the traditional events, are there any special events?
Special events, we have a band that occurs. We have a rodeo dance after the rodeo or not. Most of them are traditional fair events, the livestock show. The kids show their livestock throughout the week, and then they have the auction on Friday at 1 o'clock. So anybody is welcome to come and bid on their animals and help those kids who worked so hard all year raising those animals to try to help them and sell those animals on Friday. But non-traditional events, I guess, would be the demo derby. Not every fair has a demo derby. Most fairs have a rodeo, but ours tends to be one of the better ones.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. And certainly I know it's a great activity for kids. We were talking about that before we started this show, and talking about your children and how much they learned from 4-H and being able to care for animals. And what a great thing for individuals to be able to do that and create some responsibility. And I know it's quite an endeavor to care for an animal over an entire year and to be able to put it up for sale.
Yes, ma'am. I think it helps develop those kids to who they become. A lot of kids don't excel in sports at school, but boy, when you put them on a horse, you put them to show a steer, and they just go above and beyond of their capabilities. So I think it's great to watch those kids grow and develop in their capabilities with the animals and stuff.
Yeah, it is quite an activity, and we're certainly grateful that we can have it. Are there any other elements, I guess, that we should be reminded of or discussed around the fair?
Well, Friday at our rodeo, we always tend to honor somebody at our rodeos each night. This year we have a special honoree coming. We're going to honor the Navajo Code Talkers. As we all know, the Navajo Code Talkers played a crucial role in World War II and the Korean War with our military. So we're honored to pay tribute to one of those Code Talkers, as well as we're going to have the Navajo Veterans Honor Guard and Color Guard with them. So that's going to take place at our rodeo performance Friday and Saturday night. So I think that for us, that's a big honor to be able to honor one of the last Code Talkers for our country at our rodeo performance. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, it sounds like some great activities and events, and certainly we're grateful that you can take some time to honor those who have served our country, and to be able to, when we talk about the Navajo Code Talkers, they're certainly important to Navajo County. So thank you for taking that time.
Yeah, it's an honor.
Yeah. And for people to find out more information, where should they go?
Well, the fair has a website they can log on to, www.navajocountyfair.com. We also have a Facebook page. They can get on Facebook and look things up there, or call the fair office by calling 928-524-4757.
Great. And one thing I forgot to ask, is there a cost associated with going?
There is. It's $5 to enter the fair. 5 and under are free, so above that is $5. The events are $8 for adults. 6 to 12 is $4, and 5 and under are free as well to get in, like to the rodeo and demo derby.
Okay.
The general admission is $5 for the fair.
Great. Well,
we do offer a Veterans Day on Friday.
You're good.
So all veterans can get in free on Friday.
On Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and dedication to the fair. And certainly it's a great fair, and people should take the time to go out and have some fun, and certainly eat some fried Twinkies. Next, we'll be taking a short break, and then when we come back, we will have Mr. Jeff Lee from the Navajo County Health District joining us. So come on back. Welcome back to Navajo County Connection. I am joined here by Navajo County Health Director Jeff Lee, and we're grateful to have him today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, before we jump right into this, I know that you're new to Navajo County, and I don't think a lot of the people have gotten the opportunity to know you. So if you can introduce yourself and a little bit about your background and how long you've worked for the county and so forth.
Okay. Well, I joined Navajo County in April. Previous to that, I worked over in Coconino County for about 5 years. Over there, I ran the emergency preparedness program and also the emergency management program. Prior to Coconino, I spent 10 years in the Air Force, and I also worked 6 years with FEMA as a disaster reservist. Outside of work, I love the outdoors, camping, fishing, hunting. Anything outdoors, that's where I want to be, outside of work.
Well, Navajo County is the perfect place for being outdoors.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I always say that, our landscape, we're certainly blessed with the region that we're able to live in. One for camping, outdoors, all of those kinds of things. So when we talk about the health district, tell us a little bit about what are your responsibilities? What is it that you do for us?
So the main mission of the health department is to promote and protect the public health of our citizens. And we do that in various ways. We monitor the community health, and we do that through disease surveillance systems that are in place. We also diagnose and investigate those diseases. We inform the public and educate the public on different threats that we may see, or emerging diseases, re-emerging diseases such as measles or Zika. Education is the biggest part of our mission, is to get out in front of the people, tell them really about the threats and how you can prevent contracting some of these diseases.
So it's about monitoring, I guess, what's going on in our county,
Right.
the types of diseases that could possibly be of harm to our community, and maybe not even of harm, just kind of keeping us abreast of the information and collecting that data over time.
Correct.
And all of those things are important, not only just to understand our county, but when we look at the bigger picture, maybe looking at creating data over time and how we've possibly changed.
Correct.
So providing, I guess, a perspective of how healthy we are, or maybe not how healthy we are.
Correct. And not only our county situation, but we also look at national diseases. Ebola was a big threat, and we had to be prepared for those who may had traveled to the area and then returned and potentially had contracted Ebola. And same with the Zika virus. The Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, not prevalent to our county, but our southern counties, it's very prevalent. So just educating the public that if you do travel down there or into an infected area, what to expect and what to look out for when you come back.
So I think those are two great examples. You talk about Zika and Ebola. What is that? How do you communicate that to the public without putting the public into a panic?
So most public health announcements do strike some concern or fear in individuals when they see that. The education portion is where we try and calm the public's fear or concern on that. And it's hard to do because, for example, our most recent announcement on plague, you hear the word plague and you're concerned, you're scared, some even panicked. But once we get into the details and really educate what the true threat is, it's the prairie dog and the flea on the prairie dog, not the plague that we all think of, the Black Death. With modern medicine and prevention products out there, most most of these diseases are preventable or treatable.
And I think as a person, I guess layman in the person, trying to understand maybe not so much medical jargon, but the terminology that we're used to understanding.
Right.
So when we hear plague, it might be based on misinformation of what we previously understood.
Right.
And so your department is very important in keeping us informed on what those things really actually mean,
Right.
and what we need to do if we have to protect ourselves. And I think even just the awareness and being conscientious of those kinds of, not to the point of a panic, but just being aware
Right.
is very important.
Right. And that's a major goal of ours moving forward, is to get ahead of the seasons, because just like weather, there's disease seasons. You have flu season, you have time of the year where we all get back out and start cleaning out our garages or our boats, and hantavirus is a risk at that point. And then, the summertime with the prairie dogs and the wild animals. And so going forward, we're really looking to put some education campaigns out before those seasons hit. So when people see these announcements, they're aware, and they know how to prevent and keep themselves safe.
So that's part of the messaging, or part of the support that the public health services provide. What are some of the other projects or programming that you might be working on right now?
Right. So one that we're really excited about is we're expanding our vital records program to where 5 days a week now you'll be able to walk in and purchase a birth certificate in Show Low, Holbrook, and then 2 days a week in Winslow. Right now we only offer it 5 days a week in Holbrook, and there's a burden on our citizens to drive to Holbrook if they live in South County, and so we hear that, and we've heard it, and we're changing. And so hopefully within the next 60 days we'll have our Show Low office up and running, and then Holbrook will remain the same, and then travel twice a month over to Winslow for birth certificate services.
I think that's important. We hear the concerns of the community, and certainly it's our responsibility to make sure that we meet the needs of the community. And I think this is a perfect example of trying to meet those needs, so individuals don't have to travel all the way to Holbrook.
Definitely.
So I'm certain that people are grateful for that, so thank you. And so one of the other services is also immunizations.
Correct. So our immunizations, we offer those as well in Show Low and Holbrook as well. We have Mondays in Holbrook, and then 4 days a week here in Show Low, Monday through Thursday. The best thing to do would be call our office, make an appointment. We do have walk-ins available, but those days get pretty busy, and it's much easier to make an appointment and just come in. Another service we offer is travel vaccinations. So if you're traveling overseas and there's certain vaccinations you need to enter that country, call the health department, and we can get you set up with those vaccinations.
So is there a cost associated with that?
There is. With travel vaccinations, they are fairly expensive. With our normal vaccinations, there's a cost, but we also accept insurance, and we have a sliding scale for salary requirements.
Okay. And then, people will ask, and I know that our family, we've utilized your services in getting vaccinations. And I was really impressed and kind of surprised that I got a little note in the mail the other day saying that my son needed to come in for his teen immunizations.
Yeah.
So what a great service.
Yeah. And with public health, we do the education portion. And that's part of the education, is keeping people on track with their vaccination schedules. If they have traveled to another country and we did travel vaccinations, when they come back, we'll do a survey with them, see if they were exposed to any of the potential diseases in that country, and then test for those and put a schedule together for them so that we keep the population safe.
And it all goes back to that awareness, just being conscientious of how do
Yes.
we take care of ourselves and what does that look like.
Yes.
So those things are very important. One thing that you mentioned just very briefly was flu season. When is flu season?
So flu season actually is determined by the Arizona Department of Health Services when they receive their first positive test. So it could start in September or it could start in November. It just depends on how many people are vaccinated prior to those trigger seasons, and then how much the flu virus has actually changed from the previous year, and what the flu vaccination is, if it's effective or not. It normally will last into, we'll say mid-March, and then after that it pretty much dies off.
Okay. And I know that's a concern in our community. I think you offer flu shots. I know there are a lot of different organizations across our community and region who offer flu shots.
And in the beginning of flu season, we'll also do a flu shot clinic. We partner with our emergency preparedness program, and we'll do drive-through pods, points of distribution, where you can drive through and get your flu shot right then and there. So we try and make it as easy as possible to get the flu shot because it is important.
That's such a great, again, going back to convenience for our local community members and providing what they need to make their lives easier.
Right.
And that's just another example of that. So we're grateful for those services. Are there any other elements, I guess, that you would like us to know about with the health department?
One of the projects we've been working on, and it's been a project over the past 18 months, is we're trying to get accredited through the Public Health Accreditation Board. And it's a very grueling process. It's hundreds of measures that we have to meet and documents that we have to prove that we're doing certain elements to become accredited. And we're close, the finish line is close. We are looking at our site visit, which should be early 2018, and once the site visit is done, it's 30 days before we receive their accreditation or recommendations to improve.
And that's such a great, I guess, it shows the quality of services that are being provided. And that's one of the things that Navajo County certainly tries to do in providing quality services and demonstrating that those services, one, are being provided in an accurate, or I guess in a way that community members can access them, and that we understand our roles in being able to provide those services to the community. So that's an important endeavor.
And it's a great challenge for us because the standards and measures don't change if you're a large population county or if you're a rural county. So we, as a small county, we don't have some of the resources that larger counties do, and we still have to meet the same standards and measures. So to be able to do that, it will be a great accomplishment.
Yeah, it will be a great accomplishment. It'll be a great, I guess, achievement for us as the county.
Yes.
So thank you for that. And we appreciate that you're here, and welcome to Navajo County.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us today, and we hope that, well, actually, I'm sorry. One of the things that when you're looking for information for the health district, one of the places that you could access information is on the website, and we want to make sure that we share that information because that's important in being able to understand where you can access the information. But we're grateful that you joined us today, and we hope that you take the opportunity to join us at the Navajo County Fair, and certainly eating some of those goodies and seeing the exhibit and enjoying the rodeo, and enjoy your fall season. And we'll see you next time.